But now I was a man with a body, even born again now, got married, but I could not relate with my wife as husband because I had been
because of that trauma.
that trauma. So when that happened, my uncle was dead, and I became a different person. Those people in the occult came to my mother and say, you know what has happened to your brother? It's because we want this boy. You have to give her now officially to us. You have to surrender him to us. So she tells me, but now this one I remember it. She got me, and there is a place where this the headquarters of the occult in our nation. It's like a cave. They said it's like a cult, as if they believe in God but not God. They don't believe in the Bible. It's like a cult where politicians go and even religious leaders. So she takes me to this place. This place, like it's a cult, it's like a religion. Now, when their leaders die, they don't bury them. They embalm the bodies and pile them in a cave, the dead bodies. So she took me and handed me over to those people. Now, remember my uncle is dead. I have this pain. And now the only person I know now remaining is my mother. So she hands me over to these people who I don't know. They get me. Now, remember, I have the trauma. Just lost my uncle. Put me in a cave with dead bodies, lock it for 3 days and 3 nights without food, without water.
And how old are you at this point?
Now towards 4. It's just a few weeks from the death of my uncle.
Wow.
So now I remember the pain and the betrayal I felt as a child, that now my only mother, the one who I thought could protect me, has handed me over to these people who have now locked me in a cave with dead bodies, pitch dark, day for 3 days, hungry without food. Now, so what happened in that cave? It's the things I saw inside there those 3 days, like the spirits, Lucifer, the demons, could come and talk to me. Serpents could come into my body. All kinds of things were done on my body. So it was being initiated into deep occultism and witchcraft, like every part of my body. Now, that's the first time I am knowing about the snake, which now Mama tell me, which came at birth. I remember it came around me, coiled around me in the cave and entered my body.
Wait, physically or spiritually?
Physically. And, all my life until I got born again, it lived in my body. I could know when it's moving. I could know, you could tell something is moving in the body. It's like now the spirit in this snake took over and now it could control me. Now, from that time, I want to say this, until the day I got born again, all my life I was in pain. There's no day I remember I was not in pain until the day I gave my life to Jesus for 24 years. Every day, that pain was there in my body. All because that thing had to keep me in pain in order to use me. Because if Satan controls you through pain, because it has to manipulate you to control you. So it had to keep in my body. I could not eat well. I could not live well. So the only way I could avoid pain is to be drinking. So I began drinking, drink alcohol, and I became addicted to alcohol because that's the only way I could now kill
numb
that pain. Numb the pain.
So that's a powerful thing you said. Satan controls you through pain. There's so many people that, have come into the trap of the enemy because of bitterness and all sorts of things that have happened in their past that have not been resolved through the cross and accepting Jesus. In fact, they may have accepted Jesus, but they've not allowed him to bring healing and they've not forgiven. But that's an access point for control of the enemy.
Yeah, because it controls the pain. And also, you can give your life to Jesus Christ, but you need, first of all, deliverance, and you need also healing to restore your soul. Because if you've given yourself to the enemy, the first thing he'll fragment your soul and keep all different parts of your soul in different prisons. The bitterness, anger, unforgiveness, guilt, hatred, traumas, all these. Now, each one of them is like a print on your life and now has given you a false identity and personality, which is not you. So you have the identity and the personality of the demons that are now residing in those pits where the pain is. So I have the pain. I hate my mother and I hate everyone. I don't know my father. So the enemy, every time is to use me, is to remind me that people, humans are bad. You have to kill them. You have to do this. They are evil. They are bad. They hate you. I don't have, remember, there's no emotional attachment. Because as a child is growing up, the love you get from your parents is what now grows in you. So now, because there was not that, emotionally, I didn't have I was emotionally trapped. I didn't understand what's love, what's fear. I never cried. I never laughed.
Wow.
Because I didn't understand this. You see?
So now you go through this deep ritual. 3 days is completed. You come out, and what happens? People are worshiping you.
When I come out, what surprised me, hundreds of people are waiting for me. So they come out and they're worshiping. Like I'm like a god. They're bowing and worshiping.
And you're 4 years old.
I'm 4 years old. So like I said, what's going on? Now my mother has no access to me, has no authority over me, because now that's when I know now I have been initiated and ordained as a witch. So from that time, there's a part of me that's human. I want to be a child. But then the people treat me like a power. You want to play, but no one comes next to you. First of all, no parent would allow their child to come near you. You see? 2, you were busy. People could come every day and night for help, to get powers, to get what. Then some of them are as old. One of the things that I so painful, even I remember right now and read it. It had a lot of the people as older than my mother could come, and they have to undress to be naked before me, women, and then you have to give them powers. Now, if a 4-year-old you're exposed to such, that affects your life. And like, even today, like it affected my life until Jesus healed me. Like you're seeing naked women and naked men. You are a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old. That affects you, the way you look at people, the way you think, So what Satan does is to abuse, you see when people abuse children, people think it's just lust. Sometimes it's initiation. They're initiating them when they expose them to pornography, when they expose them to do all these things, like men and who abuse children. And in my ministry, I found that many people who are struggling to be healed and delivered, it happened, their exposure was in childhood, between 1 and 6. Those were sexual abuse, those were molested by teachers, parents, siblings, and all. And it is a gate the enemy uses to trap a soul. So mine was trapped. But the killing of my uncle, trauma, trapped me.
Yeah.
Then the betrayal of my mom trapped me. But then the years of being exposed to such things, like you, women and men, come to you every day, have to undress, sit naked before you.
So at this point, where are you living? Are you just living in the forest somewhere? Are you with your mom still?
And now the home where I'm living, my father left. It's like now a hospital. It's like
Oh, so at this point, you'll go back home and lots of people are now visiting your house.
Because the other woman, her powers have been transferred now to me. So they know where they call me the baby, they call me the baby witch, where the baby witch eats. So they can come for powers, for what and what. And I would say this, sometimes I fear to say, but I would say, even some people in church circles could come to pastors and bishops. Some of them could come to me for powers in their so-called ministries. And so when I got born again, the Lord, after the Lord led me to most of them who are still alive, and could say, you remember what you are doing, and you need to confess it, to repent and turn away. And many could say, I have the name, the big congregation. I can't. People will run away from me. And I tell you, I'm going to expose you. But the Lord told me now, expose them will not help.
You said you told them you were going to expose them.
I'm going to expose them. But the Lord told me exposing them will not help. What will help is them to repent. But for years I feared. I knew how dangerous it was until 2016 when I shared my testimony. I had never shared my testimony until 20. What you heard, it was my first time I'm sharing my life story.
Yeah. So just for breaking in the story here. So I got you the testimony you shared. African. I got it maybe somewhere around 2017. Someone was there. that heard the testimony and then gave me the CD, and I've lost it now. But I remember being so marked, not by this part of the story, but there's some,
Where you're going.
and it was connected with intercessory prayer. I was so marked. And then as God will have you, I knew someone that knew you. And then they connected us, and here we are today. But this is just incredible to just hear how you were so deep in the occult and how you were helping even men who were serving God, in quotes, but using demonic powers at 4, at 5. The wisdom you were dispensing to them, was it just flowing through you without you even aware of where you got it from?
I don't know where it was coming from.
So you're just giving instructions and directions, and
because at that time when I left that place, that cave, the spirit world and the natural world could be before me 24 hours. I could see them like I'm looking at you. So I could know people's past. I could know where they're coming from, and I could know what is done in secret. I could know who will be the leader, who will be the president, what will be done, who needs to, and all that. So like everything was bare. I could see. In fact, it's when I got born again that the Lord cut that because it was not God.
Yeah.
He had to cut that. And many people, when they get born again, who have been the occult, they don't want to let go that. So they confess Jesus, but still
hold on to those powers.
Because the powers, they have their advantages and what they think advantages. So the Lord had to lead me into years of deliverance to cut off that.
Now we're gonna touch the deliverance at some point, because that's a huge thing. Because many Christians don't believe deliverance is something that you need to have as a Christian. We'll deal with that later. So at this point, you're 6, you're 7, you're 8.
So I am 6, I am 4. Now I'm doing that. When I'm 7, I am made a territorial witch.
Explain to us what that means.
In the occult, the king of darkness, it's about territories, as the church should have been. Now, each one has a territory. And in that territory, you have like maybe 5,000 or 7,000 witches in a certain territory who are submitting to your powers and to your altars. So you are like in charge of a territory. So I was in charge of southern Uganda and northern Tanzania. So like that was a region which is called the Kagera-Katonga region. Kagera is a river. So they divide the nations by rivers or by mountains. So say from this river to this river is your territory. So I'm made in charge of that territory when I'm 7, the youngest.
7.
When I was 7.
And did you say you were in charge of 5,000 witches?
Over 7,000.
Over 7,000 witches.
Over 7,000. And I was made that as a 7 years, when I was 7 years. So, and, when you are made territorial, leader in the territory, your first assignment is to destroy the one you're taking over from.
Wow.
So you have to destroy and kill all his priests and his witches, destroy everything, even him, for you to do that.
So was that like your first act of murder, so to speak?
Yes, the first assignment, because the king of darkness is about destroying. The devil came to kill, destroy, and rob. So you destroy others for you to reign. So the one who is in charge knows if another one is coming, they're coming to fight and kill. So there's that destroying. So I take over the territories, and they say I remember they would say, this boy is wicked. Others, like they had that human side of their life, like pity and love, though they were in witchcraft. But now me, who didn't have any emotion, like raised without emotion, raised without a family, raised in bitterness, raised in anger, in rage, in all kind of hatred. So I could not feel anything like pity, like mercy, and what.
So when you killed them, you did it by spiritual movement,
by spiritual,
obviously attacking them in dreams, sicknesses, all sort of things, and they knew they were in a battle with you,
with me, because now they know another prince is rising, has to destroy the others. So they attack, you attack, and then if you are able to dislodge them, let them, when they die, then you take over the territory. So I took that territory for only 2 years. After 2 years, I had finished my assignment, and then I am made to be a trainer
of other witches,
or whoever wants to be trained.
Trained in anything,
in
occultism,
in astral projections, in what.
So by this time you're 9.
I'm 9. So I'm now beginning to be a trainer. As I said, that my mother, though she had that mental problem, she kept thinking that she can break this and I become a normal child. By the way, I'm also going to school at the same time.
You were schooling.
Yes.
Well, how are you relating to all the other children? Because you said earlier that no one wanted to play with you.
Yes, but my mother took me to school. And I remember most of my teachers in the earlier years, I could be in school like thrice or 4 times in a term. Wow. But surprisingly, all my school up to university, I was always the best. But I was not attending classes. I could not attend classes, but I knew like I could go and write my exams and be the best without attending classes.
Wow.
And I can't tell how. So I could, as a child, I want to be, there's a part of me already that longed to be a child. You know, even when I grew up and I became born again, I found that I find so attached to children than there's like a baby in me still longing to be a child, because I missed that as a child. I missed that as a baby. I didn't have that love. I didn't. So it's like there's a part of me, a part of my life that was skipped, and it's not only me. I believe I've found many people in my ministry of deliverance that their child was robbed out.
Their childhood was robbed from them.
Yes. Yeah. And I know some people watching right now, that may be one of the issues you're dealing with, that your child, a part of you was trapped as a child. They mean that
by rape, by
abuse, by trauma, exposure to witchcraft, death, accidents, and all this. And when your child is taken away robbed from you, you may find it hard to function in an adulthood unless the Lord can trace back the moment of the trauma, the moment of the abuse, and move and carry you through to bring to a place of healing. Now, for me, my child had taken away. Though, as I was growing up, I want to relate with people. I wanted to be, there's a part of me that longed, I could look at children and want to be like them. But then, if I relate with them, then the powers in me could maybe destroy them.
And wait, were these powers out of your control?
Yes, they're out of my control.
Really?
Yeah. So I didn't have,
you show up and things just happen.
And just happen.
Give us examples, like, because in in your book you were saying something about you looked at someone and they fell over and they
died. I can look at a child like in school and I feel like the child just falls down and collapses and faints. Or I look at a teacher. I remember one time I was in like early years, like after like kindergarten. I looked at the teacher, maybe she shouted at me and she became blind.
What? Did she know that that was you that did that to her?
Yes. Because I think she tried to find out and say, you can. So she came to me and said, can you help me get back my sight? I said, okay, you will. Then the next day she was seeing. And so she told everyone in the school then that they feared to send me out of the school because they didn't know what will happen to the school. Now, that's the early years. So these forces were in me, out of my control. I didn't do them by my will. Because remember, as a 3-year-old, we were trapped in a cave. So it's as if your will is blocked. You are taken, something has taken over your life. And I know there are people even who today, they have not recovered their will. If they were involved in the occult, in witchcraft, in abuse, in all these, they may have been trapped. That's why they need inner healing, they need deliverance, they need now someone to walk them the journey of healing. You know, people can hear the gospel, but there must be a ministry that facilitates the healing of the soul, especially the people that were trapped, especially in childhood. There's what they call the sexual abuse, the ritual sexual abuse. And because when I was there, most of these businessmen, the musicians, the celebrities could come for powers. And the way to get the powers, say, go and find a young child, a virgin, and rape her, sexually rape her, maybe 7. Like they're going to have a show. And say, for that show to be successful, find a guy.
They're going to have a what?
Like a show, like a music show.
Music show, right, okay.
A concert.
A concert, yes.
And they come for power and said, for that power, you need to find girls, rape them, sexually abuse them.
And as a child, in those early years, you were giving some of these instructions to some of these celebrities.
To celebrities, to politicians, to businessmen, and all this for spiritual powers.
And so when they do that act, they're also initiating that child. So there are people that have experienced some of these horrific acts and don't even know that they were initiated through those acts.
They don't know. They find that a part of them was robbed and taken away. And some of them, like, this, for example, let me give an example. A musician, a celebrity, who gathers young girls around himself to use them every time before he goes for a concert. So those girls, they have been initiated. And then they go to their friends in schools and initiate also their friends and maybe relatives, like their brothers, their sisters, and expose them to the powers of darkness.
What are fruits that we see in the life of a person that helps us to know that there's been an initiation?
Isolation, rebellion, addiction, anger.
Is normally any manifestation of actual witchcraft activities in their lives known or unknown to them, or maybe consciously or subconsciously?
Known or unknown, because some of them, they receive what they call guardians. A voice takes over their lives, and they have like a multiple personality.
Multiple personalities.
It's like another person. You see like young people who like suddenly they call themselves someone else. Say, I'm so and so. And you can discover that now another being is in charge of this person. So that is the initiation of what is being done. But we go back to the story.
Let's go back to so back to the time. You're 9 years old now.
Yeah.
And you've been promoted after you did all the bad stuff you did. And so what happens after you're not? So your mom is trying to find people to help you.
The way it takes me to help, I destroy them. And I'm wondering why. Because if I was in the same kingdom like them, why was I destroying them? And what was that which was destroying them? Was it the enemy destroying the enemy, or it was God destroying the enemy?
And you are not doing this consciously.
Not consciously. So even today I'm saying, why was that? Was the Lord involved in my life, or was something else? So when I was 12, that's when the story I said about
your mom taking you to Tanzania, somewhere in Tanzania, to a witch that was going to break the covenant, the marriage covenant that your mom believed was what's controlling you, because you wanted you to be a normal child. So on your way to that witch is when she told you the story of your birth.
So on my way to there, so she told me the story of how I was conceived, what happened in conception. To her, like, maybe she was trying to convince me to say, please, let's seek help. And I could see she was begging. A lot of things happened during that journey. I could stir up the ocean, then different things. Then she could beg, please don't, please don't. So we traveled to this place in Pemba. When we arrived there, I tried to attack that man as a child. And the man begged. I remember he took me and said, yeah, man, I am old. I've finished my work. Don't waste your power on me. So like he begged, and I did not attack him. And she told my mother, she said, woman, no witchcraft, no diviner, no witch can help this boy. If you need him to be helped, take him. That man was called Sultan. He was a Muslim. Said, take him to the church.
Wow.
And that's a witch. Tell my mother, take him to the church. No one can help him. And my mother said, no, you know what? And the man told my mother, now let me show you that no one can help him. So he built a hut, a hut, like built with mud and what, and put me in the hut and covered with grass and set it on fire. My mother was crying. My son said, no, you wait. So when the fire died, I was not in the hut, in that small house. My mother said, what happened? Then he told her, he's back home. You go home. He has returned home. Not using now the ship, not using the car, and I projected back home.
Now that's something you've already been doing before then. Right?
Now that one I knew how to do it. I began that at the age of 5, 6. So I left the hut, traveled back home, because from the age of 6 I could do astral travels, travel from different places without using natural means. So that man tells my mom, take him to the church. So she comes home, finds me back home normal, and say, why did you do this? So she gets me and takes me to the bishop who conducted the wedding.
Oh.
Because that's the church she knew.
This is the bishop who conducted the wedding, marrying you to a 60-year-old witch, and then your mom takes you back to the same bishop.
To say, she tells that bishop, about me, what I've been doing, and he says, yes, I've been hearing about him, but I think we can help him. Now I realized later he accepted me not to, because now it was like put me in school, in the seminary, like join like the seminarian to be a priest. But what he wanted was to investigate these powers. So he puts me in this school in a seminary, and he is interested. I remember he could call priests and bishops to just sit around me and like investigate and ask me questions, interview me about the powers, about the forces. And
wait, I'm trying to understand. When you say they took you to, so you were in seminary at 12?
12.
And what, were you learning the Bible? So what kind of...
I'm supposed to be like in a normal school, because early in of the seminary, you're like in a normal secondary school.
Okay, a normal secondary school, but it's called a seminary. But it's run by what? The church in corporate. Yeah. Okay.
So I am there, and I thought I was now going to be like a student, go learn about the Bible, learn about God, and become a priest. I realize now
they were just interested in your power.
Just interested in, not even to educate me, they're interested in the powers. So most of the time I am there from the age of 12. That year I'm there, I am living in the same house with a priest.
With the priest.
And every night they come with books, with what to ask me about the spirit world. So they ask me this and that and that, and I enjoy it. I enjoy being in charge. All my life, I always enjoy like to be in charge, to control others. Like there was a deficit in me, and so I'm telling them all the powers. They are writing this, like researchers. They are sitting around me.
And this is going on for what? Years?
For years. For a year.
So in all that time, you didn't learn anything about Jesus, about scriptures, and you were in a Christian environment, in quotes.
Yes. But I'm not learning about God. I'm learning. I'm not learning.
You're teaching them.
They're teaching from me. So I remember at the end of the year, this bishop and another priest, they told me, we have a scholarship for you. We are going to send you to Europe for training. And so in me, I thought, okay, I needed, but they told me they needed the consent of my father. So my father, that's the first time I'm seeing my father. He came to the school to sign the papers, sign my documentation, because I was now going to be moved from Uganda to go to Europe.
And so with Bavin, so you're 16 now.
No. I'm 13.
You're still 13. Oh, you said 4 years later.
No, 2 years.
2 years later. So, okay.
So I'm 13. And now they tell me you have a scholarship to go and study in Europe. Now, for the sake of the sensitivity of this, I may not mention
where.
Where. But
can you tell us the country?
I was in Italy.
Italy, okay.
In Italy. So I'm sent to Italy for...
at 13.
At 13.
Okay.
And I'm going without my mother. I'm going alone with a group of priests. I remember the two priests had come from Italy. They were sent from Italy to come and investigate, interview me, and make a recommendation. So they asked me about the spirit world, about these, about powers, about systems, and they're like, "Wow, how did you know all this? You've never gone to school, you've never gone to a theology or to any university, but you know all the things about the spirit realm, about history, about what, how?" So they say, "Oh, we need to go with you." So they carried me. Now I leave.
So the priest that came from Italy to investigate first, and then they took you with them.
I go with them. And they come. They pick me up. We go through Rwanda. They picked another girl there. I don't know why. Who had also strange powers. So we fly from Rwanda to. Now we go through France. We stay there for some time, and that's when I discovered that now I have been being moved from the African witchcraft, the crude witchcraft. Now I'm being initiated into the occult.
Okay, because you said that in the beginning that there's a difference between witchcraft and the occult. Can you just give us a basic definition of what's the difference?
The occult is a system. Actually, it's Satanism, the alliance of those that subscribe to Satan. Most witchcraft is about people's traditions and cultures, the things they do and what they learn. But now this one is literally the worship of
Satan
as a figure. They're, in witchcraft, they're about the spirits and the powers. But now then it's like a system, a religion. So when I went there, I'm put in a religious house where what happened there is the worst experience I went through. Because to break my will a second time, I have to be exposed to death and sexual abuse. So I am trained in the occult, but for the 5 years from 13 to 17, 18, almost every day I am molested and sexually abused.
Okay, this part you didn't share in the 2017 testimony I heard. What?
So by men, by priests. So like they have to do that on me. I've written this in my book. That's the most, because they want to pluck out every aspect of me and then use
Wait,
me.
you're saying every day?
Almost every day. For
5 years.
So you during the day, you are like what they call the altar boys. You are like you put on the
And this is in a religious Christian, in quotes, environment.
So during the day, you are like a trainee being trained to be a priest. So you put on the gown, you attend mass, you do all this. Now, when you go back to the house, what they call the brother's house, you are molested.